Good morning, good morning, good morning, family. This is Coach Charlene. It's so good to see you guys. Okay, I can't see you guys, but I can feel that you guys are there. Hey, I just wanted to pause for a minute because I haven't paused this week yet. So it's been a very productive week, but I wanted to just say you're loved and appreciated. Just got a quick little message for all of you out there that I love to inspire. But I am so excited about what God is doing and what He is going to do and what you're going to experience in your life as you um, continue to discover who you are. And I always talk about discovering who you are because I think that's such an important thing. But where's that quote? I was reading a quote. It was really good. I'm going to pull it up real quick. And it's by Dr. Miles Monroe, and it says, "The greatest discovery in life is self-discovery. Until you find yourself, you will always be someone else. Become yourself." And I love that quote because until you discover who you are, you're going to kind of drift around and be what everybody else wants you to be. So I'm encouraging you today to discover who you are. I was talking to my daughter today earlier this morning, and then the words matching your makeup came up because a lot of times we're doing things that don't match our makeup or what we were built or designed to do. And that becomes very frustrating after a while because you can be doing, like my daughter, she's like super brilliant. And she's doing a task that is really wearing her down or very weary because it does not match her makeup. See, what we do needs to match our makeup. And that's why you have to, and that it's good that you have frustration and that unrest. You guys know what I mean? That unrest, that uneasiness on the inside of you until you discover what it is that you truly were designed and created to do. That's actually what that restlessness that you have on the inside of you. Many of you know what I'm talking about. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Monica. God bless you guys. But many people know that unrest on the inside of them. They feel it. They know that they're not happy with their current circumstances or that there's more to life than they should be doing. So that's why you have to make sure that what you are doing matches your makeup, matches what you were made to do, matches what motivated God to create you and send you here to the earth realm. Until you actually discover your very reason for being, then life will be like a cyclical frustration to you. You'll go from thing to thing, from place to place, from person to person, never really finding that true fulfillment. So I believe, you guys, in 2017, that many of us are going to come into ourselves. They're going to come into our own. And the way that you can do that is this three things that I learned. And I learned that from Dr. Miles Monroe, and I thought it was so perfect because he talks about self-discovery. And this is keys to becoming yourself. Self-discovery, self-manifestation, and self-release. Self-discovery is the who am I really? Who am I? That really speaks to your identity. We know who we are in Christ, for all of those that are Christians. What is your true identity? Do you really know who you are? Because if you know who you are, then you won't be concerned with what other people think you are. You have to know who you are, and that's what it comes from, a lot of self-work, and you got to really spend time with yourself and spend time quiet and really asking those questions of who am I? Who am I really? You know, we always ask the $1,000,000 question. If I was given $20 million right now, today, cash free dollars, what would I do with that? What would I do? Would I quit my job? Would I continue my job and do something else? What would you really do if you knew you couldn't fail? See, that's where you tapping into your passion and you're taking the limits off so that you can understand what God called you to do. Because until you take the limits off, you're going to be trapped in your circumstances. So you have to at least get your mind to start thinking outside of the box, that if I had no limits whatsoever, then what would I do if I know I couldn't fail? What would you pursue? Where would you live? What would you be doing right now, today, if you knew you couldn't fail, if you had the finances, if money was no object? What would you be doing? Because you really need to kind of get down to the crux of what it is that God called you to do. So self-discovery, finding out who you are. Spend some time with yourself alone, quiet. Practice solitude. And I always say quiet because there's so many voices of what people want you to be that sometimes it'll get buried under all of the chaos that everybody else wants you to be. I have to be this for my husband. I have to be this for my kids. I have to be this for my employer. I have to be this for my business partners. I have to be this, that, and the other. And in all of these different roles that you're trying to be, then you lose yourself within that. And I know a lot of moms do that big time, because I've done it to a certain degree too, where you kind of lose yourself within all of the different roles that you have to play, all of the different hats that you have to play. But it leaves you empty, and it leaves you kind of like, oh my gosh, what about me? What about me? So that's what I'm talking about. You got to do you. All right. And you got to do you first, because then you'll be more effective in those other relationships and those other areas. So who am I? And why am I here? What is my original reason for being here? See, why speaks to purpose. Who speaks to my identity? Do I know who I am? Do I have confidence in who I am? But why speaks to your purpose, the original intent. Why God created you to come to this earth realm. See, there was a plan. There's something significant that you're supposed to bring to this earth realm that nobody else can bring it, because nobody else has your fingerprint. So that's your purpose, your original reason, what motivated him to create you, that sent you here to the earth realm. And what can I do? What can I do speaks to your potential. And you guys know potential means untapped strength, unused success. It's what you can do that you haven't yet done. Hey, Dolly. It's how far you can reach that you haven't yet reached. It's how far you can dream that you haven't yet dreamt. It's those things that we haven't done yet. It's the books that you haven't written that are still on the inside of you. It's the music. It's the business. It's the expansion in your company that you haven't done, that you can do. It's what you can do that you haven't yet done. It's untapped strength, you guys. Unused success. Oh my God. We're loaded on the inside of us, and everything that we need is on the inside of us. We just got to get quiet enough to listen to the voice to tell us which way to go when we need it. So what can you do? And where am I going? What is your destiny? And when you really find out who you are and why you're here, then that purpose that you have will start to produce pictures, because God will show you pictures of what you're supposed to be doing. If you're a speaker, for instance, you see yourself up speaking. You guys know what I'm talking about? You see yourself doing. If you're a businesswoman, you see yourself transacting deals. You see yourself inspiring other people. You see yourself helping the youth. You see yourself singing on the CD. You see yourself being a great mom. You see yourself doing those things that God called you to do. You can visualize and actually see yourself doing that. You have to be able to see yourself doing it before you actually start doing it. And that's visualization, and that's very powerful because it takes your imagination into place. So if God spoke to me and told me that I was going to be a motivational speaker, for instance, then I should be able to see myself doing it. And you guys will begin to see that I'm passionate about inspiring other people. I'm passionate about getting the message out that God gave me. And everybody has a story, we always say that. And everybody, to be honest, has a message, a cry of the Spirit. What is that cry that's right there deep in your belly? What is that cry? There's a message. There's something that you want to get out before you die, before you go home and be with the Lord. There's a message, there's an audience, there's an impact, there's a business, there's a product, there's something that you want to fulfill while you're here on this earth, because people need what you have. And so that is self-discovery. Where am I going? My destiny. Okay, well, now that I know who I am, see, I'm asking questions to discover. I'm asking questions to discover who I am. I have to know why, because circumstances and opposition is going to come against me so that I won't fulfill my purpose. But that's why you need to be able to see who you are on the inside, so that when what you see on the outside doesn't match up with your makeup, what you saw on the inside, then those things that are happening around you is subject to change. So I don't have to be moved by what I see on the outside of me. I have to be grounded in what my makeup is, what my DNA is, what God created me to be, so that I can fulfill that which he created me to be. So self-discovery. Then there's a process, and it's called self-manifestation. So now that I discover who I am, I know why I am, I'm feeling really good. I'm excited about it. I got the dream on the inside of me. But now there's a self-manifestation part. And manifestation is actually you becoming yourself through a process. And the process does not feel good all the time. Think about a butterfly. You know, it's that little really ugly little thing looking like a worm. And then it has to shape out of its shell through transformation to become that beautiful butterfly that it becomes. It's the same thing with us. Some of the things that God has to take us through so that we can become who he called us to be is not really the easiest thing, because it's going to pull you out of your comfort zone. It's going to cause you to do things that you don't really want to do in the natural. It's going to cause you to stretch farther than you ever want to stretch. But it's part of the process of you becoming that true, authentic you that he created you to be. So don't abort the process. Don't reject the process. Don't try to bypass the process. Embrace the process. Embrace what God has given you to do, no matter how hard it is, no matter how it feels. It does feel lonely sometimes, but it's okay, because you're never alone, because our Father said that he'll never leave you nor forsake you. See, he wants you to do something different. So a lot of us are so busy trying to fit in that we never stand out. And God wants you to stand out, to be unique, to be authentic, to be distinct, unique, that person that only has your fingerprint. You're the only one that can do you. So you need to manifest your greatness, and your greatness is going to be manifested through a process. And I know sometimes we don't like the process. Sometimes we don't understand, why do we have to go through the things that we're going to go through. But I'm telling you, if you can get to the point where you embrace that challenge, where you embrace the opposition, just like an eagle, when it flies against the storm, it hits the storm and it propels him to a higher level, because he's not running from the storm. He ran into the storm because he knew that I'm saying that the God that's on the other side of the storm is going to help you propel to that next level. And what I do with all of my opposition, all of the challenges that I face, I learn from every experience. It's a valuable lesson that I learn from every experience. So that's, where am I going? Who am I? That's self-discovery. So self-manifestation is I'm manifesting my greatness. But you have to allow yourself to go through the process. So sometimes that means, like for me and Don, for instance, we knew what we were called to do before we came here to serve. So we knew what we were called to do, but God will send you somewhere so that you can serve, so that you can be faithful, so that you can work out those kinks. Because just because he called you to be this great person doesn't mean that you're ready to be the great person when he calls you. Most of the time we're not ready. But that's why we have to be in self-manifestation. We have to become ourselves through a process. So don't get frustrated with the process. I know things may not look like you want them to look right now, but don't get frustrated with the process. Don't abort the process. Don't try to take shortcuts. Go ahead. Get it done. Learn from the lessons so that you can move on, because you don't want to keep cycling around and around doing the same thing when God is trying to say, hey, I want you to learn from this, and I want you to grow from it so that it won't happen again. All right? All right. Hey, Brian. And then the third one is self-release. Now I'm being released to be who I am. It's just like the seed, the mango seed. The mango seed goes through a process. When you see the seed, you don't see the mango tree yet, because trapped inside that seed is the mango tree. And it's not only the tree, it's the fruit that hangs on the mango tree. You get a whole bunch of mangoes, and then it becomes an orchard. You guys, there's so much potential is what I'm saying. That's on the inside of you. See, trapped on the inside of you is that God-ordained person that God sent here to the earth to impact people, a product, whatever it is. There's something that humanity needs from you, and you have to spend your whole life finding out what it is that he wants you to do. So self-release, and self-release is important because I can know who I am, and I can know why I'm here, and I can become it by going through a process. But at the end of my process, although I never really stop the process, but I'm always seeking to get better and better every day. But when you finally discover who you are and you decide to become it, now you have to release yourself to become it, because a lot of people won't want you to become yourself. Like if you're in a group of people and you finally start feeling that sensation of, oh, I need to do something different. I remember when I was pursuing my nursing career, and who I was with at the time, we were all LVNs. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's great. I've been through from a nursing assistant all the way up to where I am now. But a lot of people around me were like, oh, no, you shouldn't go do your nursing degree. It's going to be so much money. And you're going to, I mean, I got all of these people hating on me when I wanted to do something that nobody's ever done in my family. So I said, I'm going to go to nursing school. I'm going to become an RN, a registered nurse. And I mean, I had so much backlog with that, and I lost a lot of friends over that, but I was willing to release myself to follow or pursue the dream that I wanted to do at that particular time. So self-release is going to be you saying that, you know what, I don't care what so-and-so thinks about me. I don't care. Even your closest people that are around you sometimes won't understand, because nobody understands your baby but you, and you're going to be the only one that pushes that baby out. So that's why it's very important for you to be free with releasing yourself to be who you are. I don't care how unique it is. I don't care how different. I don't care if it's never been seen before, because we haven't. I haven't seen the real you, and you haven't really seen the real me. You see my process of how I'm manifesting myself. See, I'm going through the process. So every time God tells me to do something, I'm obedient to what he tells me to do. And that helps me with the process, because he wants to inch you out step by step so that you can become who he called you to be. So anyway, I don't want to keep talking, but make sure what you're doing matches your makeup. That's really the whole thing I want you to take away from this. Make sure what you're doing matches your makeup, matches your DNA, matches what God ordained you to do. So you won't see me doing things that don't match my makeup. Now, I may do it for a process of time, but as long as I know what my makeup is, I know who I am, then those things that I do should help me to get to where God wants me to be, my end result, which is that wonderful person that he created me to be, and to that wonderful audience that he created me to impact. So with that being said, you're loved and appreciated, and I look forward to seeing you guys. Anybody that's in our area, we're Friday, we are going to have a trainer, because one of the things on our heart is to go after our next generation, because we hear all the negative things in the news, and we believe that part of the solution is starting on our soldiers, our little babies as young as 4 years old, and training them in godly core values and kingdompreneurship and how to birth their dream at an early age. So we're going to have a little trainer. If you want more information on that, you can message me. It's Boss the Movement. And anyway, you have a wonderful day, and I really want you to, I'm wrapping it up, the three things that I talked about. I want you to match your makeup, and you can do that through self-discovery, self-manifestation, and self-release. Those are the 3 words that I want you to meditate on, and there's tons of scriptures that go with them. But really think about those. Self-discovery. Start discovering who you are. Spend some time with you and fall in love with you. Go back to your manufacturer and ask him what motivated him to create you. Why did he send you here to this earth? What was the reason that he sent you here to this earth realm? And I guarantee you, you'll begin to get answers. Things will be manifest for you. And yes, the process, it's not all gushy and, a walk through the tulips. It's a process of really discovering some of the constraints that you have. Like, a lot of us are dealing with fear. A lot of us are dealing with low self-esteem. A lot of us are dealing with unforgiveness, those people that hurt us that we're holding on to, and they've moved on, but you haven't. We're dealing all of those kind of things. Those blocks block us from becoming who we really are. So it takes a lot of self-examination for you to become who you are, but it's so worth it, I'm telling you, because no one person is worth you aborting the plan of God in your life. So that's why it's important for you to drill down into those different details. And next year, we are going to be off the hook at A Night to Dream. We're going to be drilling down in bite sizes strategies to help us become our true, authentic self. So if any of you guys are in the area, of course, A Night to Dream is on Saturdays usually, and we'll have more information on our Facebook page when we do our January message. But the first Saturday of January, we are going to have A Night to Dream at 6 p.m. and those details will come forth as well. So anyway, hope I inspired somebody today. I knew somebody needed to hear something today, so I'm just being obedient. And because we need what you have on the inside of you. You're significant, and you just need to recognize that you are significant. And so work on becoming the best you that you can be, so that you can bless all of those people that you are attached to. So with that being said, you have a lovely day. You're loved and appreciated, and we will be talking to you soon.